Here we go, folks. It's main event time. It's the final match of this week's episode of Fantasy Warfare. As we explained, we tried to get this to be a title-for-title contest with there you see the late 80s, early 90s version of the NWA Tag Team Championships. We tried to get those to be put on the line. And we tried to get them put on the line against the AEW tag titles, but instead it's just one title's on the line.
And it's for the All-Star Wrestling World Tag Team Championship. Introducing the challengers at a combined weight of 548 pounds, the Steiner Brothers.
Rick and Scott, the Steiner Brothers, the NWA World Tag Team Championships, the exception to the rule here of defending the titles, as for some reason the title versus title situation would not be permitted in this match. And instead, it's the AEW World Tag Team Championships only that are on the line. And here come the champions.
At a combined weight of 457 pounds, they are the All-Star Wrestling World Tag Team Champions.
Hey, wait a minute. FTR's throwing their belts down. They're running in the ring. They're not even taking their jackets off. This one is officially underway. So similar to the first blood match earlier on, it is still standard tag team rules. You gotta tag your partner in and out of the ring. But much like the first blood situation, it is a falls count anywhere situation. Situation. Said it 5 times. There. Keep a count on how many times we use certain words multiple times. But this is a falls count anywhere match for the AEW World Tag Team Championship. The Steiner Brothers looking to become double champions, but FTR looking to put a damper in those plans, and looking also to stake a claim to a future NWA World Tag Team Championship match with the Steiner Brothers. Or we could even see a unification match, I'm sure, at some point down the line between Money Incorporated and the Steiner Brothers, to unify the NWA Tag Team Championships. As it appears, we have 2 different versions of those titles here in Fantasy Warfare. Nice DDT by Rick Steiner on Dax Harwood. Rick and Scott Steiner, one of the most devastating tag teams to ever step foot into the world of professional wrestling, collegiate wrestling backgrounds, University of Michigan standouts. Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler, 2 of the students of the game, if you will. This generation's brainbusters, so says many members of the internet wrestling community. Immediate throwbacks to Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson. Scott Steiner with a devastating power bomb. Jesus, what is it with folks tonight in power bombs over the top rope? Kevin Nash did it like 58 times in the last match. Scott Steiner getting down to it in this one. Power bombing Cash Wheeler out to the floor. Electric chair drop by Scott Steiner on Cash Wheeler on the floor. It's falls count anywhere, so it is all legal, my friends. All you have to do is tag your partner in and out of the match, but otherwise anything goes. Falls count anywhere in this one. Referee into the cover. We only got 2. Very early in the contest. Although, to be fair, Cash Wheeler did get powerbombed out of the ring down to the floor. So, I mean, if anybody was going to lose the match inside of about 2 minutes, I think we could understand somebody that was powerbombed from the ring to the floor succumbing to that pain inside of a 2-minute bell-to-bell. But that was not the case here, as Wheeler was able to get back up to his feet, back into the ring, as Dax Harwood was suffering some offensive attack at the hands of Scott Steiner. But Wheeler back into the ring, sending Scotty Steiner down to the floor. Oh, brutal lariat on the floor into the cover. Referee there. We only get a count of 1 on that one. Stomping away at the hand of Scott Steiner, looking to take away that gripping ability of Big Papa Pump. The future Big Papa Pump? I don't even know. Sometimes when these folks have different eras of themselves, it's like, well, which nicknames do we reference here? Earlier tonight, we called Stunning Steve Austin Stone Cold Steve Austin. But let's not focus on that. Let's focus on the action of our main event this week here, as Scott Steiner throws Dax Harwood at the exact same moment that Cash Wheeler throws Rick Steiner into the ring. That was pretty trippy to watch those two guys roll into the ring at the exact same time. So both teams in the ring. Referee using their discretion and not issuing a 5 count. I mean, it is false count anywhere, as Dax Harwood gets dumped out to the floor. I swear, this week's recap of the event will probably have more clips of people being dumped from the ring to the floor than I will know what to do with. Hindsight's 20/20, but if I had known so many folks were going to be dumped from power bombs and press slams from the ring to the floor, we might have installed a counter on this week's show just to kind of keep a running number of how many times that happened throughout the duration of the event. Got a very weird pause in the action here as Cash Wheeler is dazed in the corner. Scotty Steiner doing some wrestling posing there. There we go. Cash Wheeler comes out fighting, boots to the midsection. He's got Scott Steiner up into a rib breaker. Nice devastating hold. Oh, devastating back elbow by Cash Wheeler on Scott Steiner. Stomping away on the hand again. We talked about it before, trying to take away that gripping ability of Scott Steiner. Very smart offense by Cash Wheeler. He gets out of the way of that charge of Scott Steiner into a nice takedown. Belly to back. Go behind. Now stomping away at the ribs and then driving a forearm right to the jaw and the ear of Scott Steiner. FTR making a tag. Dax now into the ring, stomping on the legs of Scott Steiner. First it was to the shins, now it's to the back of the leg, the thigh area. Hard shot to the jaw by Dax Harwood. He's got him set up. Follow reverse DDT, no reverse suplex. Scott Steiner was trying to crawl over to his corner to make a tag, but Dax says, no way, no sir. Near fall. Count of 2 on that one. Irish whip sends Scott Steiner over the top rope down to the floor. FTR now circling the Steiners. Or excuse me, FTR was circling Scott Steiner, but Dax Harwood throws Scott Steiner back into the ring. There's no champion's advantage in this one. It's falls count anywhere, so there's no countouts, there's no DQ. There's no benefit for FTR to have the action be on the floor. Oh my goodness, another power bomb. The poor spines of Smash from Demolition, Dax Harwood, and Cash Wheeler. All of these guys probably going to jump in a car after tonight's event and find them a chiropractor here in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, because they have just been beaten from pillar to post. And, I mean, really, they've just been powerbombed from ring to floor. Never mind this pillar to post business. They've been powerbombed from ring to floor. Cash Wheeler, he's got Rick Steiner on the apron. Holy whoa, I almost cursed in our commentary. Not that we can't curse commentary, but you know we try to uphold some standards here. And that was a pile driver from the apron to the floor. It's just been that kind of show, folks. It's Black Friday. Every match has had a stipulation of some kind other than the Harlem Heat Hart Foundation match. There's been titles on the line. Everybody is full of leftover turkey rage or whatever as we get a flying clothesline by Cash Wheeler on Rick Steiner. It has been a wild night of action here on Fantasy Warfare. I'd like to thank you all for joining us for this premiere, or if you're watching later on, video on demand here on youtube.com/@BloodyBillBox. We thank you for tuning in for another episode of Fantasy Warfare. And as we have said earlier in the night, be sure to subscribe and turn on your notifications. And if you... Oh, wait, hang on. We've got a pinfall here on the floor. Could this be enough for FTR to walk away? No, it is not. Scott Steiner was there to break up the pin, but not in time. As we were saying, if you have a match that you would like to request be shown here on Fantasy Warfare, nice belly-to-belly by Rick Steiner. If you have a match you'd like to see, feel free to drop it in the comments or find us on social media at BloodyBillBox. What do we got? We got Twitter, we got TikTok, we got Facebook, we got YouTube, we got Ko-fi, we got Teespring. No Instagram. We don't play on Instagram. Just joined Hive, the one that everybody's flocking to in the event Twitter dies. Oh, nice side suplex on the hardest part of the ring. But if you got a match you want to see, go ahead and get those requests in. And be sure to keep tuning in each and every week to be able to see if maybe one of your requested matches makes it into the program. As Rick Steiner just had a Death Valley driver on the floor. Oh, my goodness, that was very close. I thought that was a 3 count. I thought the Steiners were double champions. The Steiners are not double champions on that one. FTR barely able to hang on that one. Got a little bit of back and forth going on here with the Steiners. Rick Steiner now following Dax out to the apron. Gets him with the same side suplex that Rick got Cash Wheeler with just a few moments ago. He gets Dax with the exact same thing. Nice overhead throw by Rick Steiner on the floor, taking firm advantage of this Falls Count Anywhere situation. Oh, brutal lariat by Cash Wheeler on Rick Steiner. I'm not quite sure where Scott Steiner is in this equation. I would think that Scott would be wanting to come to his brother's aid, but to no avail. Is Scott Steiner joining the NWO here tonight? I didn't realize this was Super Brawl. Wink, wink, nod, nod. Rick Steiner, though, starting to hold his own against FTR yet again. Dax Harwood and Rick Steiner collide as Scott Steiner, he's just watching from the corner. That's kind of weird behavior there by Scotty Steiner, as Rick Steiner is just taking the fight to FTR. But here comes Cash Wheeler, driving the knee into the shin of Rick Steiner, trying to take those legs out from the dog-faced gremlin. It's a smart move by FTR because Rick Steiner has been a one-man machine here fighting against both members of FTR. And if he can't walk, can't be much of a fighting machine. Continuing to hammer away, Rick Steiner not having any quit in his body, but he is now busted open by FTR. Looks like it was that straight jab from Cash Wheeler that cracked Rick Steiner open. We've officially got blood in this one. Head and arm suplex by Cash Wheeler takes Rick Steiner down on the floor. FTR keeping Rick Steiner isolated on their side of the ring, not even in the ring. They've got him isolated on the floor on their side of the ring, which would make it even tougher for Scott Steiner to come in. Oh, code breaker on the floor. Cash Wheeler into the cover. We get 1, we get 2, and we get 3. Oh, apparently this one is elimination rules. Would have been nice for somebody from management to tell us that this was not only Falls Count Anywhere, but it is also elimination rules. So now FTR up 2-1 in the elimination rules. Scott Steiner with a Steiner driver, the screwdriver into the cover. We get 1, 2, and Dax is there to break up the pin. So Scott Steiner has got to eliminate both members of FTR in order to walk away with the AEW World Tag Team Championship. That is a tall order on his plate. But if anybody is capable of doing it, I would have to say that old Scotty Steiner from the University of Michigan is one of those guys that could do it. Nice belly-to-belly overhead throw by Scott Steiner. Arm wringer. Oh, hard shot. Nice forearm there by Cash Wheeler. Devastating, twisting suplex. Scott Steiner is in trouble. Steiner brought over to the FTR corner. Driven into the top turnbuckle. I think I'm seeing a little bit of blood there on Scott Steiner. Oh no, what's it going to be? Could it be a spike pile driver? Yes, it is. Spike pile driver by FTR. But they are not going for the cover on this one. I'm a little confused by that. Oh, damn. Brutal brain buster by Dax Harwood on Scott Steiner. He was grooving there for a hot second. Hard shot to the jaw. Back elbow by Scott Steiner. He is not giving up. Another throw by Scott Steiner. If I were Scott, I'd be going for some... Oh my goodness, what a display of power by Scott Steiner, lifting him from the mat up into the press slam position. But if I were Scott Steiner, I would certainly be trying to put one member of FTR away in this one, because FTR is still up 2-1. Rick Steiner has been eliminated. Scott Steiner is fighting for the Steiner brothers in this one. But if he wants to walk away with the AEW Tag Team Championship for the Steiner brothers, he's going to have to put away a member of FTR, and he's going to have to do it soon. Dax Harwood hammering away on Scott Steiner. What's he got him set up for? Oh, pile driver. This could be all. Scott Steiner with a valiant effort. Oh my goodness, I thought that was gonna be all. Elbow drop by Dax Harwood. Goes for the leg drop, nobody home. I didn't even think we'd still be calling the match at this point. Scott Steiner now. Wait a minute. Dax Harwood, he catches him, sunset. Counters the powerbomb attempt. Oh, kicking out at the count of one. I thought Dax Harwood was going to steal it there. Suddenly and out of the blue, Dax Harwood makes a tag to Cash Wheeler. Wheeler in with a code breaker. Code breaker on Scotty Steiner. Could this be all for Scott? And it is not all for Scotty Steiner. He kicks out. And Cash Wheeler now back, making yet another tag. FTR has been fluid in their motions. Devastating spine buster. Crashing the knee into the canvas. Dax into the cover. Could this be all? Yes, it is. Spine buster and a knee crash. And FTR retains the AEW World Tag Team Championship in our main event here this week on Fantasy Warfare, as we take a look back at some of the highlights from this main event contest that sees FTR walk away with their gold. I'd like to thank you for joining us for yet another episode of Fantasy Warfare. We are going to head to the backstage area in just a moment to talk about this week's show, and also to reveal our main event for next week's episode of Fantasy Warfare. So hang tight for just a few more moments, my friends. Fantasy Warfare will be right back.